I have made a couple of videos about the new Hainan Free Trade Port and all the great things that are going to come out of this. It's going to be a process. There's going to be some, false starts and some slip and falls, but eventually I think it's going to be a great thing. Here's some more news about how this affects everyone. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rojo Reads the News. I'm your host, Paul. Today I have another article here. It was sourced from CGTN, which is the Chinese news broadcast, and has been aggregated by Foreign Wire. Hainan Free Trade Port transforms into an international retail heaven. I think that this is inevitable. The COVID-19 pandemic has devastated the tourism and retail sectors, as much of the world stayed home and airplanes sat idle for months. But in South China's Hainan Free Trade Port, duty-free stores are ready to bring back the big-spending bargain hunters, with the island positioned in an international tourism and consumption destination. Despite being the country's largest special economic zone since 1988, the southern island province, home to more than 9 million people with an area of 35,000 square kilometers or 13,500 square miles, is better known for its tropical beach resorts and, in recent years, real estate. I cannot wait to sit on a beach in Sanya. I'm really seriously considering doing that this summer before the next term at the university. In April 2018, China's leadership announced that the country will support the development of an island-wide free trade zone in Hainan, with promises of zero tariff on imported goods, low taxes, and relaxed visa procedures for foreigners. The overall plan for the high-level FTP with global influence by 2050 was unveiled on June 1st. I made another video about this, which you can watch right here. Among key policies designed to facilitate freer flow of capital and goods cross-border is an independent customs regime on the island. Qualifying goods and items entering China through the FTP will be exempt from import duties, value-added tax, and consumption tax. This will vastly expand the availability of international brands and bring cheaper imported goods closer to home for Chinese consumers. And what's going on in Hong Kong right now? There is still very little cross-border activity. People are still rather afraid to travel to Hong Kong, which was a very big shopping destination for Chinese, as is Macau. Macau's going through similar issues right now because of COVID-19. So hopping on a domestic flight and heading down to Hainan and Sanya to spend some time on the beaches and do some little high-end shopping makes more sense for the Chinese consumer than trying to deal with the chaos in Hong Kong or any of these border crossings that require all kinds of extra health certificates and paperwork. In a push to reinvigorate consumer spending, the government has raised the purchasing allowance for duty-free items to 100,000 yuan per person. Wow. More than tripling the 30,000 yuan allowed since 2018. The list of offshore duty-free product categories will also be expanded in early July. Okay, we're waiting for that list. We'll check that one out when it comes out. In short, China wants to share the benefits of the Hainan Free Trade Port with the rest of the world and make Hainan feel like heaven for shopping. While gloomy business sentiments persist, there have been encouraging signs that Hainan's revamp is on track. Despite a plummet in tourism in the first half of 2020, the island's duty-free sales hit 1.9 billion yuan or $279 million in May, up 148% from the previous year. Wow. I'll take 148% growth in anything, any day. The Sanya International Duty-Free Shopping Complex, operated by China Duty Free Group, reported record one-day online sales during a May promotion. In addition to the existing outlets in the island's two international airports, two new department stores opened last year to cater to domestic consumers, while the world's largest duty-free mall is under construction in the provincial capital of haikou. My friend Fernando said that he once drove to Hainan, which probably take a day to get there, I'm guessing, from where I am. That sounds like a fun little road trip. I might have to do one day. But I think if I do go this summer, I think I'm just going to fly, because domestic flights, especially out of the local domestic airport here in Zhuhai, are very, very cheap right now, as are resort hotels, 5-star resort hotels on the beach. I can stay at a Ritz-Carlton for about $100 a night right on the beach. I mean, that's the type of deals that we're seeing right now in Sanya, summer of 2020. Yeah, it'll be hot. So what? That's what the beaches are for. As China reopened its economy, this year's Labor Day holiday saw returning domestic tourists spend $28 million in Hainan's duty-free shops, far exceeding expectations, according to Charles Chen, president of CDFG. It is a very encouraging result and signal to us. Offshore duty-free has become a popular choice for Hainan tourists, whose purchasing power remains strong. They also bring us great confidence for the future. In recently released guidelines, the provincial government set the annual duty-free sales target at 30 billion yuan, or $400 million. This is just in duty-free. Nevertheless, the coronavirus epidemic impact has been felt by all those in travel-related industries. During the peak of China's outbreak, over 130 duty-free stores in the country were closed. According to Chen, around half have reopened since then, but those located at the airports remain closed. Bummer. So the airport duty-frees are still closed. The problem we have is that there are not enough passengers, of course. Said Chen, who noted that the return of air traffic will depend on how the virus can be contained outside of China. We're all still kind of waiting on certain countries to get their act together. The recovery of international travel is in line with a plan to keep Hainan wide open to the world. To make the new FTP a welcoming place for non-Chinese, the government is looking to introduce and relax visa policies for foreign professionals and visitors, including easier applications for visa-free entry and a potential waiver for foreign tourist groups and cruise passengers. For many foreign nationals who come to the island for the tropical scenery and balmy weather, have stayed for the opportunities and also hospitality of the locals. Sarah Sinsky, an American who has lived in Hainan with her husband for 4 years, now works as a presenter for the state-run Hainan International Media Center. She told CGTN she was impressed by the friendly atmosphere and the beautiful environment there. It's a wonderful place for my kids to grow up, she said. Sinsky said that it is easy to find work in Hainan as a foreigner, particularly in the teaching field. Hainan is definitely a welcoming place for foreigners to live and work, especially when we respect the culture and seek to learn the language. People are friendly and always ready to help us. What she said there is very true in every city I have ever gone to in the world. If you respect the culture, seek to learn the language, even just a little bit, have a smile, and know that you are a guest there, you will have a wonderful experience and people will reciprocate that friendliness back to you. I'm tired of seeing tourists that go to places and say, I got treated like crap. Usually it's because you were treating them like crap. According to the government's plan, both public and private sectors, along with state-owned enterprises, will offer some 470 high-paying positions for international talents, mainly in aviation, hotel management, and foreign language teaching. So, as you guys know, I am an English teacher. I love my city here in Zhongshan, Guangdong. I don't want to leave. This has been my home for almost 5 years now, and the people here have been very friendly, as well as my employers. If I were to go to another place in China, going to a tropical paradise such as Hainan would not be that bad, I would guess. What do you think about this one? Comment below, let me know.